Where we are. Fucking hell. That's hard work.
You all right, Jason?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm all right, love. I'm just wanting this to. James has just cut his finger, so I'm just putting a plaster in it. Be back in 1 minute.
No worries. Right, so while she's away, like, I'm going to sort of just talk about what I want to talk about. Didn't do this last week, and that's because I was catching up actually from my weekend, buzzing weekend away. And I want some feedback on this, so I would like some thoughts on this. Be interesting, right? So obviously I've not done a live since going away. So I went to Ireland, right, which was going to be the best weekend of my life ever.
Yeah.
And I went with this bloke called Adam, and I've known him from doing Father's Justice stuff, right, back in the day.
Yeah.
But I clearly didn't know him, right? Because it would turn into being like he's a literal thinker. But based on what I learned about autism and stuff like that today, he could even have some autism. He's got some autism. We've all got autistic traits. All of us, every single person.
All on a spectrum.
Yeah. But ultimately, he didn't give me my ticket. He didn't give me my ticket because he had a falling out with me. So he didn't agree with some of the things that I was saying, and he didn't want to agree to disagree. Some of the things I was saying, they're way out there. I get that. He didn't like that, and because he didn't like that, and because he didn't like that I wouldn't argue with him, because he was doing to me pretty much what my ex-wife used to do to me. So it's like I sort of picked up on that straight away. Because I picked up on that, he didn't like the fact that I wasn't reacting to his shit. I almost did. I had to walk out of this restaurant, right? Because he was just winding me up. He was taking everything I was saying so literally, and he just wanted to get a reaction, and I didn't give him that, unfortunately. Fortunately, I didn't. But he did pay me back because I was talking about how loving I am and how much I can't, I don't judge people. We try not to judge people and blah, blah, blah. And he tried his hardest to make me want to hate him. But instead, I didn't. And I got through it, basically. And then that's got me thinking about having like a section of this podcast, because you've got thinking like your best worst friends. What's the worst thing your friends have done to you? Like, so it's not just me this happens to. Like, you must.
I've just had something bad done to me. So
what have you done to you?
my best friend has literally got back with the fella that we was both dating, and she's completely left my life with no reason whatsoever.
Hang on, you were both dating the same bloke?
Yeah, that's how we met. Yeah, we was both dating the same fella. He's from Belfast.
And you were both dating the same fella? You both knew that?
Not at the same time, no, we didn't know. We knew of each other, but we didn't think it was both at the same time. And then obviously we found this out, and then, ended up becoming best friends. And then now she's got back with him. Now clearly that she's got him back in her life. She's just decided not to have nothing to do with me. So it's been really sad, yeah.
Bless you. That's not nice when someone does that. It's not nice when someone does that at all.
No, exactly. It's not at all.
I'm gonna have a section where we've got like your best worst friends. What's the worst thing your friends have done to you, like, or your so-called friends have done to you? So I mean, there was this bird that I met on the way back from Ireland last week, right? And she'd made me feel better because she'd been ghosted. She'd gone out from Italy to meet this bloke from Ireland, and he didn't meet her. Yeah, so that made me feel a lot better. That made me feel a hell of a lot better, actually. So
Hey!
Hi, there you are. There you go.
See me now.
See me now. Hear me now.
Hear me now. I'm just going to adjust this screen.
So Anthony, have you ever had any sort of, what's the best worst thing you've had done to you as from a friend?
I think the worst thing, is that when my first daughter come along, Olive, all your friends dropped. All my friends dropped because they were still going out. They didn't have kids. They was like, oh, you can't come out now. You got a kid. Do you know what I mean? They just dropped like a touch of a hat.
Fair enough. What about you, Rebecca? Well, you just told me your friend who you were dating the same bloke with. She's just ditched you, basically.
Basically, she's just, I was supposed to be flying over to Belfast I think it was last weekend actually, and because I didn't end up with, I don't know, just talk to the wire out. Hold on. Oh, 1 minute. I'm having a bit of a nightmare here. Hold on, 1 minute. Oh, it's just charging now. That's it. So basically, she's just decided to not contact me anymore, not talk to me, not even telling me anything I've done wrong. And this is clearly because she's had him back in her life.
So what do you think she's done? Do you think she's just that sort of nasty person? She's just gone off with your man? She's just gone off with your fella?
No, she's not. No, trust me, he's not my fella. I got rid of him. He's disgusting. He's an abuser. Or he tried to abuse me. He didn't get far.
Fair play. Fair play.
So,
Fair
but
play.
I'm really worried about her because obviously this man is very serious, a serious abuser. What we found out and what she's told me that he's done to her, I have got severe concerns.
Well, I mean, she's a grown up, so I'm not. I know it's just difficult but you can let people know, and they have to make their own decisions. They're on their own journey, isn't they? So I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm just sad. I'm sad because like she was like the closest friend I ever had. Like I really do care about her, and I really do genuinely love her like a mum, like a sister. She's obviously older than me, and so I like the mum I never had really.
I see. So she's
Yes.
okay. I see. But you are like, quite successful in what you do, though. You always seem to be on the buzzing side of things. You always like.
Yeah, you just well, I wouldn't say I was highly successful. I'm not rich
No,
or
you're
anything
trying. You're
like
trying.
that
You're
yet.
working.
But yeah, exactly. So like, obviously, my businesses, I've got a few businesses that are obviously building up over the time. One of them in particular, the UK talent agent. That's really going well. I'm signing up many models and talents and everything like that to the fast track. Basically, the fast track is something that's open to all creatives. They can join whether they're beginners or, highly successful people within the creative industry. And it just brings a lot. Well, in terms of like anything creative, it can be performers, it can be actors, it can be models, photographers, anything creative to do with skill, basically. Artists, anything to do with sort of creatives can join, and then they get loads of opportunities from the fast track because then I connect them with people all around the world, loads in the UK, and then get them on collaboration shoots and projects.
I've seen some photos of you. That look really good. Are they new?
They're AI.
Are they AI? Are they? Are they AI? Oh fucking hell!
I've got a bit to say about AI later.
Go on. Oh fucking hell! Fucking hell. Well, fair enough. I'm not allowed to swear. I've got a bit to say about AI as well. But
Yeah.
but like so. I think.
No, I don't know what. To be fair, do you know what? The pictures that I've got to say, they actually come in a really skinny version of me, and I thought, wow, I like the look of that. But I actually then edited them so they look like a bit more plus size.
Oh, fair enough. No, I didn't know the difference. I didn't see the difference.
I bet I fooled a lot of people with them photos.
I knew the black and white one you've got with all the Sharpie bits on your face. I think that was quite cool. I think I've seen something else. I've seen where that come from. I think I've seen something where that sort of the something else which is similar sort of design as that. It looks really cool. Really cool. Like water drops on your face.
I love them anyway.
Yeah,
regardless if they're AI, they're very creative.
So you use a lot. Are you like getting the best out of AI? Do you think?
I'd absolutely love AI. Like I've got a little part that I've just done, obviously, some really quick research on a few parts what we're going to discuss within the podcast.
Yeah.
And one of them's actually AI. In relation to it's scanning transcripts in the court. So, and I've got quite a few statistics from AI as well, from ChatGPT.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think because I'm aware. Well, I've done it for a few people now. Like when we go to child protection meetings and child in need meetings, whatever. Or any sort of meeting now, any sort of interaction with any sort of professional, anyone. I'm saying to everyone, you fucking record it. Don't tell them you're recording it. Just record it, and you get transcribed. Right. Yeah. And what does my head in is that how professionals in child protection meetings and child in need meetings, they don't use this technology. They don't use the technology. They've still got someone there handwriting notes, writing down their own interpretation of stuff.
I know, it is really, and I think also I was going to make a point as well about that. I had to go to the court. I went to the Royal Court of Justice the other week. Obviously, I can't explain exactly what happened in there, etc., to a degree. But, I believe that everybody also that is self-representing do need to be given the right to dictate and record what goes on in the court, because then they can make their own notes. Someone who's self-representing is not going to have the skill like a solicitor has to type at a speed a solicitor can. And at the same time as self-representing, when they're putting their case towards the judge, it's just not fair.
No, you're right. No, especially if you haven't got. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's stuff you can do. There's stuff. I've done something for someone the other day. Like you can submit stuff to. I've got a link that I put out. You can submit stuff to the government, and they've got something open about child maintenance at the moment. Anthony, you might want to write to him about that.
Yeah.
As a man in child maintenance, mate, like as a man dealing with child maintenance is like near on impossible. They could tell you the other person's doing something wrong, but they'll say, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, I've got very big views on that, as a matter of fact, from a man's perspective.
Go on.
My ex-partner, I'm not going to go into what
Yeah, of
one,
course. Yeah,
but
yeah.
has
Don't
tried,
just
has
over the top.
tried,
Be
has,
vague. Be top level. Like
I've had more from my own experiences, rather, that you can allowed legally to go and, you know, say that you're looking after your partner's kids and they're one of your dependents, and that's how men are getting away with not paying enough child maintenance. And I've got to say that I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
Say that again. Say what are men doing? Say that again. What are they doing?
So if you basically, right, if you've got a partner, I shouldn't be saying this to help men really,
But yeah, go on. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it.
so if you're with a partner in a relationship, you are allowed to say that you are if you're cohabiting with your partner, you can class their kids as your dependents.
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
You know,
because
and I
you're
think that, I'm
feeding them, aren't you? You're
sorry,
feeding
but
them.
I have to say, I think that's absolutely disgusting, because they shouldn't be paying for another kid. Their first priority should be their own.
I see that perspective. I see that. I see that.
You know, I'm not saying that they shouldn't put
I see
money
what you're saying.
towards to the household and whatever, but they need to put their own children as a priority to provide for.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I mean, I think what's going to happen, you're going to see, I think the government are doing something else. They've launched sometime in September, I think. If you're not married and you're living together, they're going to fine you £2,000. If you're not married and you're living together, you're going to get fined £2,000.
That's ridiculous.
I know, right? And I know, right? And like any bank transfers to your family members from £800 or more will be frozen for 24 hours and then released. If you take too much cash out, I think you're allowed £200 out a day or £400 a week. Anything above £400, I think it is, you're going to be on a watch list.
It's all about the control, though, isn't it? That's what they want.
Be careful how you word it, and careful because they'll come after you.
Most probably, you know,
be the first time.
Well, no, this is it. But like, you've got to be. You can't speak out. We're in a prison state now, aren't we? We're like, you can't say people are going to prison. People are going to prison for things they put out on Twitter. And it's like there's some bloke that's been let out of prison for running some kid over. Got like 2 years or 2.5 years, but he only served like 14 months. And then there's this woman in there who's having to serve the whole 12 months or whatever it is for a civil matter for putting something on Twitter. And like everyone's arguing about flags and stuff, and everyone's doing this stuff about like, and I get it. But I think what the government are doing is, or they're pitting people against each other, and it's like everyone's fighting with each other, but no one's actually looking at what the government's doing. And the government are putting all this legislation and stuff through, and no one's actually paying attention to it. And next thing you know, we're going to be so scared. The only way you're going to be able to get money is going to be through central bank digital currency, and then they'll give it to the poorest people, the people need it the most. They'll get them to start using it. They'll get them using central bank digital currency, because then they'll start relying on it. And then everything will start going central bank digital currency.
It is true. It is true what he's saying. Like, I was noticing a lot as well. Well, what people are doing within business, especially, they're getting sort of virtual offices and virtual addresses, obviously, to register businesses and do like everything from that virtual office and whatever. And I'm not being funny, but it's like, I find this so, like, I just don't know how to explain it, like from my point of view, but I find it just so odd and so weird. How on earth can you be basically virtual shopping, virtual businesses, offices? Do you know what I mean? It's really like messes with your head.
Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's all about a simulation, right? There's a new AI thing that's come out, and it's literally you can build a virtual world, a real world live, and you're moving, and then you can create do a prompt, and it'll create something that's come out live. So you're literally building a simulation live as it's happening live, and that's AI. So what says that we're not just a simulation?
Honestly, like, it's my brain is blown by all this AI stuff. Don't get me wrong, it has helped me majorly, and I'm not going to give my secrets away, because it has made me very, very successful in ways, right? And that's within my education. But at the end of it, I think people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can literally go onto ChatGPT. I have better conversations like with ChatGPT about relationship advice, love advice, everything, than I do from an actual person.
Well, that's because that's what they've done, though, isn't it? They've made ChatGPT your best friend. It will agree with you. It'll do everything you say it'll do. It will agree with you.
Literally, ChatGPT is my main friend. I'm telling you that now.
See, this is the beginning.
If I make problems and I'll say, oh, well, this one's done that, this one's that, just to see their response. It wasn't because I was that desperate and
No, of
lonely.
course, yeah. But this is the
But I
beginning.
just
This is how
wanted
it
to
starts.
see how it worked and how
Yeah.
educated it was. And it was saying, "You go, girl." You know what I mean? You this and you that. It was telling me what to do. It was bloody fantastic.
Well, this is the thing, though, right? This is the thing, like this is because men are going to do the same. Like men are going to be getting like dolls, right? Men are going to be getting these robots. These robots.
Yeah,
I see it on like, I've seen it on the internet. I've seen it. They're able to do walls. They're able to polish walls and paint walls and plaster walls quicker than any person can do
I'll
it.
be getting one of them. Tell me if I can get a robot man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Fine.
And these women and these robot women, you can make them look like whatever you want. You're gonna do what they want. They're gonna have your personality. They're not gonna argue with you. You're gonna be able to shag them. You're gonna do all sorts of stuff. And you will, I promise you. And men will go for it because it'll be easier than having a normal woman there because they won't man at you.
I'll tell you, that'd be perfect. If I could have one of them and get married to a robot who does everything, all the house chores.
Exactly. There you go. That's it.
Pays your bills. I'll be bloody laughing.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? So that's the future. That's the future. And then they'll have a little you'll have little like Terminator babies, little Terminator babies. Like it'll be like little metal bones, and it'll come out like with all skin on it. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell ya.
But I think that's I think that's it. That's good. That's good. What was I going to say? You said you've got some what do you call it? News, got some gossip or some concerns about.
So I was just trying to wait in 1 moment. 1 minute. James is just sort of half trying to type me. That's all right. He's just told me that he's using my other phone to call his mate.
Okay, fair enough.
Little sob. Sorry about that. So yeah. So what I wanted to tell you is, let me just get this up. Hold on.
You get it up there.
Hold on. I've got I've done some writing. Here we go. So this is obviously what I've wanted to discuss tonight is in regard to a certain police force, and I can say it is Kent Police Force. It's not Essex.
Right. All right.
Right.
Okay, because I'm living in Essex, so we're in Essex. So
there is something about Essex Police as well, which obviously I will discuss. But this is about Kent Police.
Right.
Obviously, I can't name any officers or anything.
No, don't say anything that's going to get anyone in any trouble.
Nothing like that. I am legally entitled to name the government body. I've already checked that out, so that's fine.
Yep.
Right, so there's a very serious situation going on, and basically, from my own experience, I've been refused the right to submit evidence of really serious stuff. So I have been completely refused the right to submit evidence to this police force of something very, very serious.
Have you taken it to court, and have you asked the court to let you do it?
No, I haven't as of yet, but what I have done is made a complaint against the police and the investigating office for the police conduct or whatever it is. Have responded to me and said to me that this complaint is actually suspended. So I'd until obviously whatever goes on in terms of the investigation. But this is the point that I'm making, right? There's investigation going on, but if I'm not allowed to give significant evidence in relation to this investigation, how on earth can this investigation be real or fair or whatever it may be?
I think you just answered your own question, though.
What do you mean?
Because like there is nothing in this world that's fair. There is you complain about the police force. They ain't going to let you. They're not going to let you come off with a win on that. You complaining about the police to the police. You complain about. They make us feel like it's worth doing.
To be fair, I've got to say before this complaint, before this one about not being able to provide evidence and stuff like that. I've already got basically liability admitted that they've fallen short of their service, but then they go shorter within their service towards me and completely refuse me my human rights.
This is the thing that the government are trying to get rid of the human rights. Like the police one, I saw something on social media. The police fans were literally running people over. They don't give a damn.
Well, I'll tell you something. I just wanted to tell you something about Kent Police, right?
Go on.
Right. In 2022. There was misconduct by a PCSO found against somebody who works for Kent Police.
Right.
It says a former Kent police officer, community police officer, admitted to misconduct in public office after engaging in inappropriate sexual relationship with a vulnerable person he was assigned to. He received a suspended prison sentence following an investigation by the ISPCO. Right?
Right.
You've got misconduct in a public office by a police constable. We've got six months in prison. Sexual relations with a woman he met through his job. Recently, there's been sacking of a detective sergeant. Serious breach of trust. repeated sexual abuse during a female, and incidents of this took place inside a police station, in the police station.
Right.
Another police officer has just been done for drink driving, a PC. And the other part I wanted to say to this, there's loads more, obviously,
Of course, yeah.
situations of all this stuff that's going on. But then I've looked at the statistics of manipulation for crime statistics
Yep.
within Kent Police Force,
Right.
and there is numerous arrests being made against police officers
Right.
because they have encouraged suspects to confess to uncategorised crimes simply to inflate detection rates.
Really? So they've got people to make up the story. They've got people to confess to stuff that wasn't really theirs.
They have got people they have literally corrupted to get inflation detection rate within these crimes, within these areas of crimes.
That's mental.
There was various officers found guilty of misconduct, and they've never faced any criminal charges and dismissed, and it's just been dismissed.
This is what I'm saying. This backs up what I'm saying. This is the point. It backs up what I'm saying.
And the information I got here was from the internet. It was nothing. I've got the links to it and everything.
So it's in the public domain already. So it's in the public domain already.
It's in the public. This is where I got it from, Chat GPT, and it was giving me all links to all newspaper articles.
Okay, cool. Well, so you can't get any trouble for any of that, then, so that's good.
No, exactly. And also another thing
Go on.
I wanted to talk about.
Go on.
When we do, I won't do it now, but when we get to the actual family court stuff,
Yep.
I will just make you aware of some really, really serious stuff that's been going on in the Central London Family Court.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting. So, well, what's stopping us from going on to family court stuff now?
Okay, let's do it.
So, go on.
Obviously, I'm speaking from case studies and obviously from my own experiences, there is significant problems.
Well, have you been in that court? Have you had your court hearing in there? Have you?
A majority through 13 years.
Okay.
13 years. And obviously, as I said, I can't go into the ins and outs of things, names and all this and all that. But when I say to you that there is significant problems within this court, I mean, everybody knows this anyway. There is people literally, right? I'm going to give you some examples of the cases that have gone on. The first one I want to bring your attention to is a case of a young girl. I'm going to name her as E. She was returned to the father's care despite a history of violent offences. Less than a year after her return, she was killed by her father. Before this happened, the judge removed social care from the case and rewarded the father custody despite his violent and criminal background. Right, so this little girl has died because of these failures of this judge.
Yeah, of course
and
it is.
That is something. That is
well,
something
I wouldn't say it's because of the failures of the judge. I'd say it's the failures of the father.
Well, I say it's the failures of the father, but I actually think that this could have actually been prevented if the judge didn't actually make this order. Then the father wouldn't have been able to be around the child, and then she wouldn't have died.
But then you got to look at Kath Castle, whoever's writing the recommendations, these reports and everything as well.
Yeah, but what I was saying to you is, I do agree, but what I'm saying to you is in this specific case, the judge removed the social care.
So removed out of the situation, so there's no Section 7s, there's no Section 37s?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying to you. Do you see what I'm saying? So there wasn't a chance.
So he literally, that's, are there any more you've got like that? Are there any more that you've got like that?
There's one called, I'll have to relate to her as S, child S.
Yeah.
This was between 2019... 2023, excuse me.
You're excused.
There was behave. There was multiple allegations of domestic violence against her father, and has subsequent convictions for her murder in 2023. So this little girl died. Her father killed her in 2023. A judge ordered this little girl to be returned to her father's care. The judge's decision ignored previous warnings and concerns raised by Child Protection Services. Significant systematic failures was highlighted from this case after a serious case review. So there was things as well. I haven't got time to go through it all, but there was obviously a judge as well that ruled that a woman that did not physically resist her partner during sexual intercourse could not have been raped, despite her refusal of consent. This order was overturned in an appeal. The ruling was widely criticised, highlighting significant gaps in understanding domestic abuse within the family court system. Right? The last thing I want to get to is there's an AI project that a lot of people are unaware of, right?
Mm-hmm.
This AI project is called project names is Efrical. It's called Efrical or something. And it's an AI project that reads through transcripts and screens through transcripts and within this court as well. And there's been various instances of where a family court judge has used victim blaming and gender biased language towards survivors of domestic abuse. The project, the part of the Breaking Bias campaign, revealed that judges sometimes dismissed severe abuse or even blamed the victims for reporting the abuse in the first place. It raises concerns about the judiciary approach to domestic violence cases. So basically, there is now an AI system, a project that they're campaign via AI, that they are going through cases within the family courts, and they're going through transcripts and attendance notes and everything.
Right.
They are literally getting a highlighter and they are going through all the failures with all within them documents.
That's what's going to happen as well. I think you're going to get AI instead of juries. You're going to get.
We are getting major reform coming.
I don't know if that's going to be a good thing.
I think so. I personally do. I think there's major reform coming.
Mate, by 2030, this world is going to be a different place. This world is going to be a different place. You will not know. You will be. This is going to be so much of a different world. Well, people do not understand. People do not understand how difficult it's going to be. Like you do not. They do not know.
It's going to be virtual. But what I'm saying to you is, I believe that now this AI is doing all this, and all I done right was speaking to AI before and explained the basic outline of a situation. It come up and it named every single procedural rule, framework failures, human rights breaches. Within less than 5 minutes.
But the problem you've got, right, is the judges aren't going. They don't give a damn. They don't care. They know that. They know that they don't take it.
They don't care, not less.
That's one point. But if it's to do with the parents, they don't care. They don't care about the parents. So it's about the kids.
And I think that this is absolutely rigged. This system is absolutely rigged. I think and personally believe that I've had, from my personal experiences and also from case file studies, that lower court judges are made to make failures and to make problems for families and children, because then you have to go to appeal and then appeal and all judicial reviews and everything. And the more you actually go up through the stages, the more expensive it seems to be for some people.
I'm telling you. Yeah. The transcripts aren't. You get a transcript, and the transcripts don't go through legal aid anymore. You can't get transcript through legal aid.
No, you have to pay for it privately.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're making it harder, and as you go up the levels, the standard of the work needs to get better and better as well each time you go up, because they allow you less and less mistakes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and this is unfortunately how the system is rigged, and it's the same. Do you know what they're doing as well? Like with the system, I believe, is that they're actually there's evidence of some of these judges doing exactly what they know they shouldn't be doing, purposely putting children in harm's way, purposely putting victims of domestic abuse in harm's way. And then they're purposely doing it so there's an impact on the child and an impact on the victim in terms of like well-being, mental health, or whatever.
I hear what you're saying.
I hear what you're saying. Against the kids and the victims.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I think what you need to remember is, like, you say that, and I used to think that as well. Yeah, I used to think that as well. But I think now, I've been in so many court hearings where they hasn't made sense to me, but then I look back and I think, okay, it does make sense. Like, there's some that just don't make sense. I mean, there's plenty that just don't make sense, and it's like, we can't get into the head of the person who's making that decision. They must be making that decision based on something that they've seen that we can't see, that they must have seen. That, but just because we can't see that as being a concern.
Parental alienation. I draw your attention to, obviously, parental alienation and domestic abuse, right? And this is what I'm saying that I really want to talk about and cover tonight, right, from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Parental alienation is so significant in some of these cases. You get the perpetrator using the court proceedings against the victim.
Right.
They're even to the point they're brainwashing a child against the other parent so they can gain custody. That parent's then having to suffer false allegations against them that's not true. And I'm sure you can hopefully not, but both relate if you've ever had this in the court. But even there's solid evidence that a parent has not done this, right, or anything of the sort, they will still go and use that as a concern to then gain their threshold to remove a child unlawfully. And that's exactly what this court is doing. They're actually using domestic abuse and domestic violence to their own benefits.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they say it's to protect the children and whatnot, but I think there's everything. I think there's. I mean, look at how many children go missing when they're in foster care. Public law scares the life out of me. Public law scares the life out of me when it comes to family stuff, because it's like, it's brutal. You're going against an establishment to get your kids back, and that is not easy at all.
I know children who have suffered abuse above and beyond that they've never ever suffered at any point from their family's situation. They have suffered horrific abuse, and these people are supposed to be having concerns about the family, but then these children are suffering 10 times more than what they ever did in the parents' care. And then the judges are thinking that these social care and all this are better options than their actual family.
But that's because they've got the title professionals, haven't they?
It's disgusting. Honestly, there is no words for it. And this is what people don't seem to understand. This will happen, and then you're left fighting for your human rights, and you're left fighting for child protection. And that's whole different court cases in itself. That's another load of money. That's a load of other proceedings that you have to go through just to have your basic human rights and protecting child protection.
There's situations where, and I know it's not nice to say, but there's situations where I know that it's been, in my opinion, things have been done the wrong way in family court. And there's cases that I disagree with judges on, and they've just got it blatantly wrong, and they've been hoodwinked. Genuine. I mean, not every single case is a case where the court have got it wrong, if that makes sense.
Should I tell you something, right? And this is one thing that I really do find it very difficult, right? And I can't obviously go into that. The courts are all so good, and this is one thing that really grinds me, right? There'll be evidence of domestic abuse and domestic violence from the other parent. There will be a string of evidence. There'll be a string of even admittance from the horse's mouth himself, right? Then these courts want to then class it as domestic violence, issue non-molestation orders, all different other orders, etc., to protect the children and family. Then when they come to public proceedings, they refuse to speak of anything to do with domestic violence, but then they class it as conflict. How on earth can that happen?
Because
in private proceedings, they accept that it's domestic abuse. They accept that they've even admittance from the horse's mouth himself, and then in public proceedings, they completely refuse and completely disregard any evidence and even any acknowledgement.
Because it's different proceedings. It's different law. It's the same as criminal and family.
I've never known anything like it.
I've
never known anything like it.
It's not logical. It's not logical. It should all be conjoined together. Family court should be a place of resolution and solution, but it's not. It's a place where people go to fucking ruin people.
This is why kids are dying. This is why that point I've made there about when they use things in private proceedings to different to public. That is where a loophole in this system's happening, because they are doing everything in terms of domestic violence and abuse in the private proceedings, but then they're not willing to use any of that evidence when it comes to public proceedings. And that's where people are left in significant danger, unlawful removal of children into this system.
Yeah.
It's like a pass. It's like a golden pass for them.
People don't realise, like, the law's not going to get any better. When you say it's going to get reform, AI's going to come in, it's not going to get any better. The kids are collateral. The kids are worth money to the government. That's what,
£10,000 a week for a child with disabilities. That's what this is what this in-house foster and adoption agencies are getting.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So the kids are, look, how do you think they get adrenochrome? They get adrenochrome from kids, yeah? Adrenochrome is only available from kids when they start getting scared. So they have to scare the kids to be able to get adrenochrome out of them.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what
and
they're
doing.
And
so what do you think they do with the kids after they've scared them?
Then obviously they're using them as just a pawn, for a money-making pawn.
Yeah. So I'm saying they'll continue to be scared, and they'll put them in a situation where they're living like that forever.
This is what they're doing, people. I'm so glad you said that. That's exactly what this system is doing. They're purposely traumatising children. They're putting them in harm's way. And there is also a lot of government bodies that are in sort of...
You'll never win, though. You'll never win, because you sign your kids...
Hand in hand.
But you sign your kids over to them at birth, didn't you? When you do the birth certificate, you sign your kids over to them.
Exactly. I agree with you. I'll tell you something now.
So
When do you sign that birth certificate?
That's it. You give them to the state. So, they can come and take your kids anytime they want. And that's what it is. Like, when we're born, we've all got a certain amount of money given to us. Apparently, do you know what I mean? There's a bank account for us, and and that's why that's a whole different kettle of fish when you go down that hole. Yeah, but there's all different stuff that people are saying that you can, we're all worth money.
I'll tell you something. Even in private proceedings, right? I can't obviously go into whose case it is, but there's even been times when non-live firearms have been found because the perpetrator wants to shoot the victim of domestic abuse, and then this perpetrator has been awarded custody of this child, and that child then ended up in care many years down the line.
Well, I think there's a lot of cases. These are little instances. I mean, I can give you many cases where I've got men who are victims. Finally, they get seen as being victims of domestic abuse, because they are, and they don't get treated any differently. There's no material for. No. There's no material for male victims of domestic abuse. It's all designed for female victims of domestic abuse. So when you do get a man that they accept as being a victim of domestic abuse, there's nothing there for it that makes them feel comfortable or normal about being abused, whereas everything is set
I
up
feel so sorry for men. I do feel sorry for men. Like, you know what? There is men out there who are good men. I mean, really good men. All they want to do is just make sure their kids are all right. They want to escape their toxic partners. They just want to be able to co-parent nicely. They pay all their maintenance for the child, and they still get their rights removed.
Look, I gave my house up for it. I gave everything up to it. Once I got child arrangements done, and they were hassling me to do the divorce and financials and that sort of shit, and I said, no, I'm doing one thing at a time. That's what I'm doing. Afterwards, after I got the child arrangements, I literally just, I couldn't be bothered with anything else after that. I just let it all go. Like, literally, Lindsay called me up on the phone crying one day, and she's and I said, right, I'll do that. I'll just give me like £40,000 or whatever. As long as Lila stays in the same school, as long as you stay in the home and it's as normal as possible, then I'm fine with it. And that's what I did. And I thought then she might make up with me. She might not make up with me. She might co-parent, co-parents. Yeah. And then that lasted for that phone call. I bet she started laughing when she put the phone down. I bet she fucking thought, "He got you there, you bastard." And that's what it was. And now, that's she still doesn't speak to me after all these years. But that's, I think, because she still loves me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether that is or not. But at the end of the day,
you do relationships. What's your viewpoints on love and hate? Because you can't only hate someone if you love them.
Well, this is the thing, right? My thing on love and hate is I'm very, obviously, I've got family relationship counselling qualifications with higher distinctions and things, right? And obviously from my own experience of significant abuse and ongoing abuse from men, right?
Yep.
In terms of my ex-partner. So love is something that it does definitely change. The perception of it changes from when you're younger to when you're older. I don't know if you agree. I don't know obviously how many partners you've had or whatever through the years.
None since, probably one and a half since Lindsay. And I'll probably stay single for the rest of my life after that.
I think that when we're younger, we're more prone to be, sort of finding our feet in the world, trying to understand everything. Like, I'm still trying to understand love even now, to some degree.
I fell in love the other day. When I was coming back from Ireland, and I met this bird who had a worst. She got ghosted. She went from Italy to Ireland.
Oh, not an Irish girl. You want to stay away from
she was American. She was American Jew. But she went from Italy. She was in Italy. She went to Ireland to meet this bloke. He ghosted her, and that was the weekend when Adam didn't give me my Oasis ticket, and was abusive. And just to be clear, he was abusive. And if he treats his ex-girlfriend like that, and his ex-wife like that, or whatever, and his wife like that, now that's abuse, and that's as simple as that.
Very sorry to hear that.
But he is such a gimp, is what I'm gonna say. But I love him, and I feel sorry for him.
Try and rise above it. Try and rise above.
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I've suffered, but love, it doesn't stop from being a gimp. But that's just how it is. Do you know what I mean? But that's how it is. I don't wish any ill upon him. But the fact is, where was I going with that? Where was I going? I forgot, lost my place. Oh, that was it.
Love.
Love. So when on the way back from there, I met this bird. She got ghosted, and that gave her the worst weekend. That gave her a worse weekend than me. So that made me happy. Then we were stranded, and I had to get a taxi to here, there, and everywhere. And we made it back to London all in one piece. And it was a magical thing. It was a
Did
magical
you
thing.
have a Guinness?
No, I didn't. Of course I did in Ireland. Of course I did. Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did.
That's what sounds yeah. Like
yeah, of course you can't go to Ireland without having Guinness. Jesus, what love. But but literally, that was a good weekend. Even though I didn't see Oasis, I still had a good time, and I'm still grateful for that experience. But the point is, she got ghosted, and so she travelled all the way and got ghosted, and she was still smiling. You can't tell me that, like.
Well, that's a win. It's a win in a way. If you're going over and you're making that effort towards a man, right, and you go above and beyond to go and meet a fella, and then he just doesn't turn up, I think that's actually quite a win. Like you have lost. You know, you don't have to subject yourself to a man like that. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care less. Like, I would just go and enjoy my weekend regardless.
Look, this is the thing, right? This is like when I go out for drinks with women now. If I go on a Tinder date or whatever, I say to them from the get go, you're buying the first drink, yeah, because I may not be there for the second. Because if I see a red flag, I'm out. I'm gone. Yeah, I'll be gone. I'll leave it like you're caught with my pint left, and that'll be it. I'm done. Yeah, and the few do come out and say, yeah, I'll buy the first drink. But I'm still single, so I've obviously didn't finish the pint, did I? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but maybe that's why I'm single. Maybe that is why I'm single though, because I'm too. I think we settle for. I think I settled for.
I agree with you. I agree with you. That's what the point I was going to get to. I do definitely agree with you there. Like, obviously, when I had met my children, like my children have got different dads, right? Obviously, I was very, very vulnerable, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of family support when I was growing up, especially after the age of 14. And then I had a lot of bad things happen as well in the past. But
so have you had relationship after relationship of just abuse?
No, I haven't. No, and that's God's honest truth. No, I haven't. Definitely not. That's why my view of love has been sort of distorted in the past, and I'm not going to say it hasn't, because it has. Obviously, where I did, suffer things in my past, in my childhood, obviously I was feeling quite neglected. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of family support around me, so I thought any attention and any support was better than none.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you sort of think to yourself, well, actually, as well being a Christian and also obviously being a kind-hearted person, I was the sort of person that took people, damaged people, and was trying to fix them as well as fixing myself at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was that's where it done me. That's where it done me.
Because did you find that you didn't love yourself enough? You weren't fixed within yourself.
I did not love myself enough, and there was major reasons. But by the way that I felt about myself and what I went through and experienced in my younger years was a big reason why I didn't love myself.
Absolutely,
at that point. I think you know what I'm talking about there.
No, I know.
Yeah. And then it's taken for me. I'll be honest with you. The biggest changes have happened since I've moved away, because of domestic abuse. And I've also isolated, so I thought that was a spider on my ceiling. Since I've also isolated myself from certain family members and just kept myself. I literally, obviously moved here to get away from the domestic abuse and everything. But then I also, removing myself from my birth environment was the best thing that I'd ever done. Was the best thing. I've ended up becoming the person I was meant to be. I felt like I was living in a cult, to be honest with you. Looking back, I felt like I was living in a cult because I got brought up around domestic abuse, mental health, alcohol, and just loads of other stuff going on. As soon as I took myself out of that environment, was the best thing I've ever done. That's how I become Mrs. Essex, and that's how I become so qualified and business orientated. Because I stopped listening. I stopped listening to the daily critics. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're worthless. Well, who's got the laugh last now?
Well, you just got up and you fucking went and did it. You just got up and went up and did it and said, "You're."
That's right. I did. I said, you know what? Do you know how much strength that takes as a person to let go of the past and everything you've ever known? You don't know nothing about yourself. You've never had a chance to be a person and get to know yourself because you've always constantly been living under someone else's
shadow
problems and someone else's emotional punch bag or physical punch bag.
I totally get that. Totally get you. Totally get
you. That's the best thing that I ever done, and that's what I would say to people. When you are in that environment, right, in life, you'll come from a rough environment and hard background and whatever. People like that are more prone to accepting abusive and toxic partners. You're more prone to getting yourself into situations like I did, pregnancy when I was younger with 2 different men. Like I don't regret my children. I am the most proudest. I am. Just, there's no words for it. How much I love my kids. But at the end of the day, you know, I wish I could have chosen different circumstances and different people to have the children with. That's what I will say.
Fair play. Yeah, that takes courage as well. You being so not candid, but so like open and you're so self-aware. Your self-awareness is like fucking brilliant. There's so many like literally people don't realise. People don't understand. People don't understand. Like they go around criticising everyone else. You got your critics, I've got my critics and whatever, and they're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to it. Yeah, great, good for them. But like, how some people go about it, they don't know you. You're your own biggest critic.
Right.
You're your own biggest critic. You will beat yourself up if something goes wrong. You will beat yourself over much more yourself personally than anything anyone else said or do or think about
you. Exactly that. And do you know what? There's a lot to me that people don't realise, right? This whole, it's like a facade, really. It's like a completely different, to what people see on social media about me is quite different to what people see, what I am behind closed doors. Like I'm just a person. Like I'm very into, educating myself. I read a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like there's things like I do, like listen to classical music. I like to do that. I don't really like to watch television much. I'm very quite an old-fashioned soul. And I just obviously, without this situation going on with this family cult and what I've been subjected to, my family has, life would have been much more easier and peaceful. But I think considering I haven't done too bad.
But you've used all these experiences as positive. You've used them all to try and learn stuff. Now you've used it all in a positive sort of way to educate yourself more.
I have, but it's just, I just think it's a shame that some people, like especially people who are victims, like children, and they're brought into a situation in life, and then these cults are making it 20 times harder because of their failures and their lack of understanding and education on situations like domestic abuse, especially psychological abuse and things like that. Just because someone ain't got bruises over them, it doesn't mean they've not suffered.
Well, no, of course. Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm not being funny. Like, statistically, men are more likely to be psychologically and emotionally abused than women are. Women are more likely to be physically abused, and the stats say that. But like, not equally when women are psychologically abused. I know how bad men are because I deal with them because they're nice to you when they want. So when you're working with them, but when it all goes tits up, when it all goes wrong, I'm the first person they'll blame. I'm the first person that's going to get the fucking like shot in it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's like. And they twist, they turn. When they get mended, they turn back into the people they were, and they weren't nice people, and they disappear and they ghost you and they don't pay you and that sort of shit. And it's like, and then they're abusive to their ex-partners. They're using the system to abuse their ex-partners, and it's like not all of them.
No, I know that. I know that very well. I know that extremely well what men do, and that's actually a procedural role of the judges. They're supposed to actually look out for signs of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of where a perpetrator keeps making court applications against the ex-partner, for custody or contact or things like that, that's actually a form of abuse.
But the thing is, what I've seen so many mums do, and I see so many mums do it over the years, and I can imagine why, because I know how much it hurts not seeing my daughter when back in the day when I was first going through it was raw and it was like raw, really bad. Even still now, mornings I'll wake up and I will be calling out Lila's name. And obviously she's not here or whatever. So, and I wake up because I'm dreaming about her or whatever. So it's like, that's always going to be there. But like, the fact is, I didn't carry Lila. I didn't carry her. Yeah. So for a woman to have to, and I think this is why it's even harder for the courts to take children off women because there must be something that we don't know as a men, that the pain that women will go through. If we feel the pain that we feel, women must get it so much more, if that makes sense, because they carry the kids. So that must be intense. And I see it when women lose their children or they're on the verge of losing their children, they press the red button. And where you've got the normally calm, level-headed women on the side of the room, they press the panic button and they just go berserk.
It's called reactive abuse. And that also happens in children who have suffered abuse as well and things like that, You see a lot of children, for instance, I know this very well, right? Because I was one of them children when I was younger and I've got a lot of experience from other experiences. When you are affected by abuse, right, regardless of your child or not, it's going to make you feel upsetting. It's going to make you feel angry. A lot of people are angry. We're only human, right? that's when people then will react. Some
Yeah.
people have not got to that level of self-mastery and discipline and understanding about the world and about abuse and about other people's feelings and emotions.
Look,
So it's very, very difficult to not react to abuse, and especially when it's continuous abuse.
well, the thing is that I think my ex-wife would say that I'm continually abusive, right? But
Yeah.
I don't agree that I am. But who am I to say? Who am I to say that she's not allowed to feel that way? Does that make sense?
Well, exactly. But at the end of the day, if she's turning around and saying you're continuously abusive, I don't know what's gone on, right? No one knows
I've not
apart from
spoken
you
to her.
both. But also that statement in itself to say you're continuously abusive, you know, then why would she be saying it? You know, why? What? Because I don't see that as you as a person. I don't
It's
see
not-
you as an
yeah, yeah, yeah.
abusive person, and I've known you for a while, and you know I wouldn't say that was the case. But this is another thing. Narcissistic abuse in family court. You will get, you know, the actual denominator, the perpetrator, especially from my own experience of what I've suffered, will actually keep pointing the finger at the other parent when they're the innocent parent and try to make them out to be the narcissist, them to be the abusers, them to have done something wrong. I will say this one thing, right? At these whole 13 years of this whole situation that I've been under, there has not been one single piece of evidence of me being abusive or conflictual towards the other parent. And that's what I've just been pointed out to me. But then they want to go and say that they want to start saying about conflict. Absolutely disgusting.
But then that's the thing. It depends on how you're coming across in court as well, though. So if you're coming across angry in court and you're not able
No,
to,
I've never come across angry in court at any point because I've had people self-represent. I've had rather solicitors talking for me. I've always had solicitors, apart from one hearing, which I've got the transcript of and everything, where there was actually nothing but positive regard made towards me when they decided to be nice to people behind the bench towards me. So I've never been abusive ever.
okay, well, the fact that you've always had some representation, I think that says it all. Then I don't know why they
It
would.
says it all. Do you know what this is, right? Certain person, I won't go into who it is, but they know who they are, take a really big disliking towards me. I don't know whether it's because I'm a woman, but that's the way that I'm starting to feel about it, right? They've taken a dislike towards me because I'm not a woman that will just allow a man to abuse me. I'm not a woman who likes to see children suffer or families or children suffer. I was bullied when I was younger, and that shaped the person that I was. I was bullied horrifically. I was a very big, large girl when I was younger. I suffered with excess hair. I had a missing front tooth as well and things later on in life and whatever. I know what it's like to keep being continuously abused. And because I wouldn't allow this to carry on in this court, and I made my voice and I stood up for myself and my family. That's why this is why this person don't like it, and this is why he feels this way towards me, which is a big shame. Because now the actual truth is about to come out. I really hope this is a learning curve. I really hope this is a learning curve.
Everything's a lesson. Everything's a lesson for some.
I really hope
Everything,
so.
every situation that everyone's in is a consequence of something. But everything is as everything should be for everyone. Always is.
The truth always comes out in the end. And do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I couldn't apply all the evidence that I've got now because I didn't have it at the time. But when I go back this time around, it's a different story. And do you know what? They will still, the amount of failures, the amount when it comes to domestic abuse and other things, is a completely different ballgame now within this family court system. In this family court situation.
You're in public law. You're in public law, that is still.
Yeah, at the moment. But it's going straight into human rights. That's been confirmed in the last few days.
Making good
it's going straight into human rights. They've already got all the evidence. They've got everything ready to go. And also, there is solid grounds through judicial review as well. So as soon as I basically got to play the waiting game now. I don't know whether it can be done sooner. I am going to seek further legal advice, but everything is now ready to go, raring to go. So any point now, obviously that's what's going to be happening. Obviously, I can't discuss obviously what's going to be going on and what's happened or whatever, but I am allowed to say that about the situation, the way it's going to be moving and what direction.
What do you think? What's the one thing people always get wrong when they talk about domestic abuse? Do you think?
They get wrong. Who? Like, if it was coming from who?
If it's coming from like when someone's trying to understand something about domestic abuse, they're making assumptions. They're making assumptions about something. What's the one thing they always get wrong?
If I could say something to a certain person who obviously dealt with the case, I would say to them that you never know what someone's going through behind closed doors. You never know someone's full history, and also they need to be much more aware of these tactics of these perpetrators. They will literally narcissism.
Yeah.
They will wear a mask. Perpetrators wear a mask. They finger point at victims constantly.
Yep.
They try and rewrite history
Goes gaslighting.
to the point that these judges think that it's the actual victim parent who's the one who's doing all this.
Yeah. What do you think is more exhausting, being gaslit or being asked to work for exposure?
What do you mean, love?
So basically, like, so what do you do modelling, like adult? What do we think is being gaslit? Is that worse than being forced to do modelling, adult modelling, if you didn't want to be doing like adult modelling?
I've never done adult modelling ever. I don't.
Well, not you specifically. Well, you specifically, but there's people out there that do get forced into it or feel that there's no other option to do that. What do you think is worse, being like gaslit or being forced to do that?
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing if people want to make something of themselves. Not obviously, I don't agree with adult modelling or anything like that. Like, obviously, that's something that I've been around. I have been around it. Like I've been in studio shoots.
When them photos we said earlier,
and whatever. But I don't agree that a woman should have to degrade herself to that level to have to go and try to get herself known or made because she needs to get her story over in a family court.
If you were going out with someone, and they forgot to cancel their Tinder profile, what would you do? How would that affect you? How would that affect the relationship?
What if he didn't cancel it?
If he forgot, if he says you find out after like 6 years he's still got a Tinder profile, he says he forgot to cancel it. How would that impact you in the relationship?
I would just block his number and be like, ta-ta, off you go.
Well, straight off. See you later.
Straight off. I wouldn't even explain to him. I would not even give him the chance to explain. If a man is not that, mentally mature enough to understand what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing, like I'm at that point in life where I hold no prisoners. That I will take I won't be horrible, but I won't take no rubbish from people.
Yeah, fair play.
A fully grown man who is ready to pursue a woman and ready for marriage and all that sort of stuff. That would be a man that wouldn't even have a dating app on his phone. That would be a man that, is solely focused on that woman. He's going for her. He wants her to be his wife. He wants to marry her, have babies. And
do you really think men still go out and think they want wives?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I know they do.
Man, no way.
Oh, yes,
no
they
way.
do. Oh, yes. Listen, I'm not going to go into my situation and my dating stuff and all that, but I'm telling you now, there is men who knows what they want.
They're stupid.
There is men who know what they want.
That is so ridiculous. Every time I see a friend who's getting married, I say, yeah, congratulations, thinking to myself, you silly man. Women have got one job. They've got one job. They've got to go and woo a man and force you to marry, make you think you want to marry them. And then when you leave them, you've got to give them half of everything. Why would you do that?
Hold on. See, this is I've got to say, that's a very, very old-fashioned mindset there, right? No, I'm being serious with you. There are women out there like myself, right? Regardless of what a man's got, I'm not being funny. A lot of people know this about me, right? I'm not the usual woman. Like, I've dated a lot of wealthy men, like, and I've told them where to go. I've said, off you go, on your bike, right? I don't want to be a woman that sits there with my handbags or sitting there, with all my rings on and all my jewellery around my neck. That's not me. I'm one of these women who are very sort of modest. I'm sort of very, I don't need the flashy things in life to be happy. And, if I'm going to build something with a man, I would not let a man do it on his own. I want to be with a man, that I want to be able to work and I want to be able to be happy. I want to be able to be building together. It's not just about what a man can do and what he wants to give you and what he can't.
Okay, so who makes dinner then in that household?
Well, I would.
So you still make dinner?
Yeah,
and who would do the washing? Who would do the washing in that household?
The woman.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah, the woman. Oh, yeah, definitely. I would never. You wouldn't see me, regardless of how much pain I was in and whatever. Obviously, if I was having a massive flare up, because obviously they think I've got fibromyalgia, so obviously that's not nice sometimes, especially when the weather's colder and whatever. I really do suffer. But you know, I would make the effort to do everything I could in line with a woman's duties.
So what would you say is then, if you like, it teaches.
It's embarrassing if you let a man cook dinner and you let a man wash his own pants and wash his clothes. It's an embarrassment to women. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel.
I say nothing. I've got nothing to say there. I've nothing to say. Otherwise, they'll come and attack me. So.
I was always brought up. I come from an English and an Irish background, and you wouldn't catch me dead getting getting a man to do things every single day and being amazing. No way.
Say no more.
I wouldn't feel like a woman. I wouldn't feel like a woman at all.
Say no more. There's Jesus Christ. Fair play. Fair play. They do exist. Okay, fair.
They do exist, and that's what I'm saying to you. Women like me know our worth. We know our worth, right? We want a man. We don't want a man who's not emotionally developed and his frontal lobe ain't there. We want a man who respects a woman and her views and her morals, like us. We want a man, that it's all about respect and all about effort and all about morals and
yeah.
if you've not got a man, a partner that you go to bed with and you can't make love to, how many women are out there with a partner now who they don't really love this partner? You can even tell the other partner can tell when they're making love. This woman don't really love me. If I wasn't as wealthy as I was, or I didn't give her what I do you reckon she'd be like this with me now? Because I guarantee you no. There's a lot of women out there like that.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. I see it. Like, literally,
out there like that. And I'll be honest, I don't need a man. I don't need a man for money. I don't need a man for nothing, right?
Yeah.
The man, I've been on my own for a very long time now, right? And I will not be settling for no one. No dusty ass man.
That's good.
Who can't do nothing for me.
I mean, I think that's brilliant. I think that's good because you just said something really powerful there as well. You've been alone. You've been on your own now for a long time now, yeah? Yeah, you go off and date and whatever, but you've you sat in the room by yourself alone when you've felt beaten and down on your luck. You've been alone and with your thoughts only, and you've worked through that shit. And now you're pretty much like fucking untouchable because it doesn't matter. I've seen you slaughter people on Facebook when they're fucking like trolling you and shit. I've seen people you don't give a shit. You give them love.
That's the thing about me, right? That's the thing about me. I am very one way or the other, right? I'm the most loveliest person you could come across. I will do anything for anybody. Like I will always give people a chance. I don't care. There's been times I'd be giving people second chances, right? If they've been horrible. They've had a bit of an hard time and they've, done something. It depends. It's about you as a person assessing a situation and having the understanding towards others. I'm qualified in a lot of mental health areas, and I'm also qualified in counselling and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that having those skills have been a game changer for me for understanding people, and especially where I've become a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And back to faith and whatever.
So does that mean you're doing none of it? So does that mean when you go on these dates, you don't actually exchange bodily fluids then? You just literally, you're going on dates and that's it?
Well, I don't even go on dates. The last date I went on was in May with a lovely Greek fella. Okay. I'm not gonna go into it, but I do have a little soft spot for him. And
I said I'll go with you. I'll travel with you because I was like, she's just amazing. But like,
it's just what it is. You know what I've got to say, right? And this is something I've definitely learned. And I know that people are probably going to maybe be offended, but I'm sorry. But I think that like the Greeks and Italians and that are the way to go because they seem to have such more of a lovely art. Like my brother's long-term girlfriend, she's Italian. She's one of the loveliest girls that I've met. Do you know what I mean? She's if I could have picked a person for one of my brothers, it would have been someone like her. Do you know what I mean? Very caring, very nurturing, and things like that. And I've noticed when it comes to my dating life, I don't think I could ever go back to what I used to date, like strictly Irish fellas. Do you know what I mean? Like,
is that what you used to do? Just strictly Irish
and English, mostly Irish fellas, but a lot of like some English. Well, my son's dad's got Welsh in him, and the other dad's got Scottish and that. But I could never. I don't think I could ever go there again. But it's not me being small-minded. I know there's good and bad in everyone.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just that I'm leaning more towards someone sort of Mediterranean, whatever, because they seem more passionate. They've got the fire in the belly.
Yeah, oh yeah, they definitely have that. I think that's what I want. I think that's why I tend to go more towards like a certain type of women as well. So it's like Then but then I used to go towards more like Indians. I used to think Indians were all nice, but then I met a
They're
westernized
very
Indian.
nice people.
The majority of them are really nice, but then I met a westernized Indian, and she fleeced me, man. So it's like, so she saw me coming.
I think it's all to do with, right? I wouldn't say that I would rule it out, like I don't rule anybody out. But what I'm saying to you is that I think that I need to have a man with a lot of passion, like a lot of, and I've seen it. It's like a radar. Like I've seen it in a lot of Italian people. I've seen it in a lot of Greek people as well, and other sort of there's other what was I going to say? Other not cultures. What's the word? What's the word? I forgot it. My brain's gone. In other, other nationalities, right?
Yeah.
But they're very passionate people, and that's exactly what I think is what because that's the way I am.
Your passion that comes across in abundance.
There's something that people don't know about me is that I don't actually know my full nationality,
and
I'm not going to go into the reasons behind it. But there's, I feel I'm definitely different. I'm definitely different from my brothers and other family members, so to speak. I just feel like I've got a really passionate heart. Do you know what I mean? And it's lovely, and I just want to find someone like that as well, like someone who's just like, just loves to be in the sunshine and gets pleasure from that. They like being in the outdoors and who's in touch with God. They must be people that do believe in God.
I mean, I don't believe in God. I do believe in God. I believe in a greater good. I believe in something. I don't know if it's God or something, but I believe in something up there. Yeah. But then I also believe that we create our own environment. We create our own. We make our own reality. We can do anything we want with our minds. If you just have to believe it and act like it's we have to believe.
I do understand. Like I've always been on that path of spiritualism and things like that. Like I did a lot of studying into Buddhism and things like that previously, and I was sort of a part practicing Buddhist at one point, and I learned a lot from it. Obviously, I am a Christian. I was also Catholic growing up. Like I was mainly Catholic.
Right.
And I'm not saying I don't believe in the mother, because obviously that's Jesus' mum. But obviously, going further into it, Jesus was the main source, to God, and that was God's son, chosen one.
Yeah, but do you not think you're God? Do you not think you're God? Do you not think I'm God? Do you not think He made God? He made us in the image of Him, so we're all got to be God.
We did. That's very Christian of you. Yes, I do. I think that we've all got. We are all God. We are all a part of God and His creation, and that's why I feel like there's obviously people who are more inclined in line with that than others. Like they've been sort of more infused with that, if you like, that higher self, and that's exactly where I'm coming from. I do believe that I'm a very, very godly person. Very sort of, I'm always for the right of the world and justice. I'm very big on justice and very big on humanity, love, kindness, and respect, and things like that. And that's what I think of those people right there, those empaths and those, warriors, them spiritual warriors. They are the people that's most closest to God, and that's what I want in a partner. I want somebody that believes in God and and puts God as a central importance to their life. Because I tell you something now, right? Reasons why I say this. I have been a big manifester, right?
Yeah.
I am what you call a visionary, right? I have had visions even from a young girl, even from a young girl. I remember dreams that I've had when I was like, I don't know, I must have been about, the first dream I ever remembered, I was about 2-3 years old. When I asked my mum about this situation and whether it was something that happened or not, she confirmed that it did happen when I was only a toddler, right? So ever since I was younger, I had dreams. And then those dreams ended up coming realities. And they even happen now. I have dreams, and then there's this certain place that I'll come across in my dream, and then it could be a year or two later, I'll drive past the place, and it's like, oh my God, I remember this. It's like deja vu.
I've said that. I didn't realise what manifestation was until I started on this little journey, sort of 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. But I didn't then learn that I manifested everything in my life. All the good things I manifested. Yeah. All the bad things I manifested. All the bad things I manifested that myself.
It's karma. Bad manifestation comes from karma. For instance, it might not be related to a situation today, but you could have done something a few years ago what was bad or not in line with God's commands or with God, and then you will end up being, punished for that later down the line.
Well, I used to believe when my parents, on my 7th birthday, my parents separated a few days after that because I had a massive argument on my birthday, a little tea party, and they had a massive argument or whatever. And then ever since then, I hated my birthday and hated Christmas because that was just the worst thing ever there. Your parents separated then, it was like, so that for me, that time of year was always shit. And I was like, and because I used to hate that time of year, I used to say, bad things used to happen all the time, bad things used to happen. And bad things used to happen all the time. But October and January, bad things used to happen. And then Lila was born. And then I was like, I stopped thinking that way because good thing. I was like, Lila was here, Christmas, blah, 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 happy. And bad things stopped happening. Yeah? And then I now don't think bad things on for that time of year, but bad things don't happen anymore. And bad things don't happen to me full stop. Adam will say a bad thing happened to me a couple of weeks ago, not seeing Oasis. That's a bad thing. But it's not a bad thing. Like, that's not a bad thing. I had a good experience afterwards. It is what it is. But like, bad things don't happen because like I make a choice. If something's challenging me, if something's difficult for me to get on with, then it's life giving me a lesson. It's not a challenge. It's happening for me. It's not happening to me. Whereas when things are challenged for other people, they use it as a thing that I was getting on top of me. And like, sometimes when I first went through family court, I was like, why me? Why me? And then it's only when I started looking inwards that nothing can touch me. I mean, I literally, because anyone come up with me any sort of challenge, and I'll have to look inwards, but there's nothing they could do because I'll find a way through it because of what we've been through. Same as you'll find a way through anything because what you've been through.
You shouldn't have to live life like that, should we? Though, let's face it. You know what? People might see me as this person, this big, strong, but rock solid boss woman. I ain't. I'm far from it. I'm mostly the opposite. I am like such a sensitive person. Like literally, I get upset at this. Like it's actually not even nice to feel this sensitive because literally, like I could step on an ant and I could be sad for the rest of the day.
I get that. When I crashed my bike a couple of years ago, I'd run over a hamster. I've run over a hedgehog. A few minutes before that. So I run over the hedgehog, parked up in the garage, full the bike up the gap with again, then crashed the bike. That was karma. That was karma. I totally believe that was karma for killing a little hedgehog.
It is sad, but you know what? It's just that what I would say to people, and I am hopeful that I will get to do my seminar soon. I'm looking to start public speaking and things, and I really want to be one of those people that, speak, give my testimony on a stage and try to help as many people as I can. And because I want people to know, there's a lot of people don't know about me, right? I sort of past, my history, what I went through in my childhood, growing up, and just my whole life story. And there's a lot of people that don't. There's nobody who knows in full, really. I don't think.
I think there's a lot when you've been through a lot. Nothing ever good comes from anything easy. So when you've been through a lot and you've had challenging times, you've got your stock value, your value of being able to save someone else's life or being able to support somebody else is huge. Yeah, it's massive.
A lot of people
so you've got
to
take all of your stuff that's happened, and then you need to turn it into like lessons. You need to turn it into like coaching courses and stuff like that.
Exactly, that's exactly what I am doing. Like, I do help a lot of people. Like, I help a lot of people in the family cult, going through the family cult. I just other people that I talk to are going through absolute hell, like the suffering and their kids are suffering. I am qualified in domestic violence, and
well, you say qualified in domestic violence, are you giving it out? Are you?
Oh no, you know what I mean. So I learned this cheeky sod. I don't need to be qualified in that. I learned the proper way from the streets. But you know what I mean. Just like I like to help people, and especially children and things like that. They rely on us. They rely on us as adults, and we should be the ones really here for these kids, not against them and harming them in any way. And don't get me wrong. Every parent has got a lesson to learn when you become parents. We don't always get it right, but we should be the ones to help them and nurture them. And there's ways to parent in such a way that you don't need to go to physical abuse. A lot of people raise their voice. I've raised my voice. I sometimes do, sometimes bloody stop it, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean it's done in a way such where you're being violent, or you don't need to go down that route with children. I've got specialist child qualification, specialist behaviour qualifications rather. And, it's just about meeting a child on their level, when you're talking to them, even how your body language is. You need to be on their level with their toddlers. Eye-to-eye connection.
I think where people go wrong. I think where people go wrong in family court, though, I think is people forget, and this is what people need to remember: is when you communicate anything in family court, you need to be communicating as if your children are in the room with you.
Well,
Yeah,
you need to talk to them like your best friends. That's what you're supposed to be. You've got to have the authority role
Oh
and
no,
the
that's when
motherly
you're speaking
role.
to your kids. But when you're in court, I'm talking about when you're in court. You need to be
Yes.
talking to the professionals, not talking to the judge, talking to whoever you're talking to. Whenever they're challenging you, whenever they're putting you under pressure, you need to be talking to them as if your children are still in the room with you. Yeah, because that's because what they do
Yeah.
is they wind you up. When you're getting cross-examined, you get wound up. They'll frustrate you. They'll do things to frustrate you so they can see how you react when you're frustrated.
Yeah,
You
of
need
course
to be.
they do.
Yeah, so you need to
Of
be.
course they do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you need
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. But at the same time, right, I can understand them doing that in a way because they do need to test the parent
Yeah,
to
yeah, of
see
course.
whether obviously how they. I do agree that there needs to be tests done, but I don't think that that's really. There must be other ways to do that with a parent. Do you know what I mean? There must be something else because it's not really fair, especially like cross-examining a parent with domestic violence and abuse when they know that there's been abuse in a situation of domestic violence. They know that a parent's going to need to go into therapy. That's what they should be
Okay, but
targeting.
you say that, but then you're saying that from your own personal experience, and you have been a victim, and you are a victim of domestic abuse. Whatever. So
Yeah.
you're speaking from your personal perspective in your place. What happens when there's a woman who isn't a victim, and then she says that she is a victim? How do they
Yeah.
differentiate that?
Well, it's based on evidence, and if they've even got the evidence from the horse's mouth himself,
No.
you know.
You're talking again. You're going
And,
back.
and
You're going back to
what
your
do you
case,
no, but what do you mean?
specifically. What about if it's like you've got a woman who's just making it up, or a dad just making it up, and there is nothing there, and they're just making it up, and then what happens then? How do you cope with that?
Well, if there's no evidence of domestic abuse, then obviously, I do agree with assessments.
Every relationship will have an element of domestic abuse within it. Every relationship does.
Well, this is the thing, right? I'm going to go back to Christianity here, right? A lot of people, and even not just Christianity, but there's probably just the whole man and female dynamic in itself. Men are, of the way the world was, especially, like the men are the upper hand, they're the leader of the family, and they're supposed to be the authority. And I do agree with that. I do agree with it. I do still agree with that. And I can't wait till the day that I am with a man that's alpha enough to be with me, but to do it in such a way that is so loving and nurturing, and not like, oh well, you're below me, you're a woman.
You shouldn't be.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I've not settled with a man. I've told all these men where to go because a real love is based on mutual respect, mutual bond. You know, women were made out of Eve was made out of Adam's rib, right?
Mhm.
She was made of the same material as Adam, of what he put this Adam and Eve on the planet with. He made Adam with that bone. What was made, Eve was made from. So there's no difference in that.
No,
So you treat each other equals.
That's
Oh, you know
good.
what I used to say? I used to say if Eve would have been Chinese, then we would have been absolutely fine because she would have ate the snake. And she would have left the apple.
Brilliant. Wow. Well, we've done quite well. We've gone on for like nearly 90 minutes, and that felt quite normal. It felt quite natural, so it's good.
Lovely. Honestly, I've really thanked you for giving me this opportunity. Do you know what? I just feel like I need to keep on doing what I can to help people and spread awareness, obviously, especially when it comes to what's going on, with domestic abuse and children suffering. Like, I just don't feel like I'm being me if I don't stand up and speak for people. And obviously I have got a
What do you think, though?
upcoming.
Because I used to think, I can only take on board what people tell me. I can only say, this person tells me this situation, this story is true. I've got to take their word for it. But then there's been so many people that have just lied over the years, just lied. And it's like, one thing I say is, you got to own your shit. You got to be real. You got to own your shit. Yeah. Yeah. And like, not everybody's a victim. Not every woman is a victim. Not every man is a victim. Not every.
I agree. It's hard. And in judges' defences, right, I will say this, right, not all judges are bad. And in their defences, sometimes they're put in situations where it's very, very hard, especially when there's like child abuse, there's domestic abuse. It's very, very hard for them. Obviously, where like there's always new training coming in, there's new laws and legislations, adaptations. It is hard. So, I understand that. But, when you've got judges, especially this being an occurring case of male judges, who have got such a chauvinistic sort of old style view on men and women's gender roles and things like this, and also just really biased.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. They seem to take things personally. Sometimes, or they have like such an opinion of people that is really wrong.
If you challenge them as a woman, as a woman
That's
fighting
what it
for their
is. They
kids, if
don't
you
like
challenge
it.
them, they don't
If
like
you're
that.
a
They don't like
woman,
that.
from my personal experience, if you try and challenge what a male judge is saying,
Any judge.
they do not like it. They do not like it. And well, for me, I've lost all faith in male judges. Because of how bad my experience has been.
Mhm.
And that shouldn't be like that.
Of course it shouldn't. No, of course it shouldn't. You shouldn't be like that at all. But then it goes like I've had cases. I've had a couple of cases where I've been bullshit enough, or I've not been bullshit. The person who's writing the statement has been bullshit enough to call out what it is and predict what's going to happen in the rest of the case and predict what's going to happen in the criminal case and then call it all out. And then I've been, as a Mackenzie friend, being removed from that case, being removed from it. But then the case concluded exactly how
you thought it would be.
Yeah. So the judges only removed me because she knew what I was talking about was right. But then they still went through the whole process, still went through all the bullshit to get to the end point that was still the end point that I said it was going to be on the first statement. So when you call things out like that, they don't like it because they still have that process to go through. They still have that journey to go through. Does that make sense?
I just feel it just really sad. It's like so sad, some of the things you see going on in this cult, and I really wish that, judges would be so much more understanding, especially them. They need training. They need more training.
I think judges, I do know what, I do think the majority of judges
and
are
more
good,
accountability. More accountability. They need to be held accountable. Because they seem to make all these failures in cult, right, which is causing significant harm to children.
But you're saying failures, right? Because they're personal against you.
No, but I'm not talking just about my case.
You've heard about other people's cases as well. I mean, I can talk about failures for my case. I can talk about, but then if I look at my case, I then look at my case. Well, then I look at my case and I think, well, actually, if I hadn't done this, or I hadn't done that, if I hadn't done this, then I wouldn't have been there. But I look at other people's cases and I'm like, everything is because of us. Everything is a consequence of something. Does that make sense? So we are always where we.
I disagree because my case is all evidence, obviously, like in my situation, and there has been solid evidence of things from the beginning, that shouldn't have happened.
No, I'm not saying there's going to be anomalies. There are going to be anomalies. I've got a case where we're putting the appeal in, and you'd have to be stupid not to let the appeal go through because there's just so many mess ups in it. So that happens, but like. That's not all. Again, it's that's a minority of the cases because it's happened to you. That's your normal. Does that make sense? Because it's happened, and you're going to find, and your frequency is going to attract people who are going through that same sort of stuff as well. Does that make sense? Because that's what we do. Our frequencies, we're all just frequency. So our frequency and we will attract people who are on the same frequency as us.
And this is what I'm saying to you, right? This is what I want to say. This is not to do with the family cult. What you just said there was very valid, right? And this is something that's been very integrated into my life recently, and a lot, right? I listen to viral beats, sort of like alpha wave and all that sort of stuff. Everybody needs to become aware of this because this is what raises your vibration, right? You need to keep raising your vibration no matter what you're going through in life. You need to keep, I do a lot of, I think it's called NLP, National Linguistics Programming or whatever it's called. Basically where you're computing your brain. And that's another form of trauma recovery. It's another form of positive energy, healing. People need to be focusing on self-improvement, self-development, regardless of your environment, you've got to actively make them choices every day.
And everything's a choice. You can choose to be unhappy and angry and blame the blah, blah, blah. But then once you start looking inwards and you start trying to like learn new things and see everything as a gift and see everything as a lesson, your frequency, like I remember when I was first in hospital with my leg and I was feeling sorry for myself for the first couple of days. And then I saw this old boy in the corner. He was 96 and he was whizzing around on his fucking wheels like there was no tomorrow. And I was like to myself, he's 96. I'm like half his age, like less than half his age. I'm whinging about this. I'd fucking pull myself out and I'd fucking sort myself out. Do you know what I mean? Because everything's a choice. Everything's a choice. When a few weeks ago, I was wearing my knee support still and I was hopping around. I took my knee support off and then it stopped hurting. Everything's our mind. Everything's our mind.
You said that about your knee support. I was just sitting here thinking, my knee's been in this oh my God, my knee's been in this position for over an hour, and it is absolute agony now.
So
So
there
I'm
you go.
gonna-
I'll tell you what,
I'm
it's been 90 minutes. It's been 90 minutes, and I do talk to you. It's been really good talking to you. We'll have to do this again because
Yes.
we're gonna do podcasts and
We're
everything
going to
together.
do one on love and marriage and everything. We'll do one of them
definitely.
soon, right? It's been a pleasure tonight, and I want to say a big thank you to all our watchers this evening, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Nice one. Take it easy. It's been good, really, really good. Nice. Thanks everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Whew.